Hello and welcome to another Tuesday Truth with Thera-Mom. I'm Kelly Richardson and I'm glad you're back. With August right around the corner, we know that signals the start of school, and this year's start of school is going to be totally different than what we've ever experienced. So my today's Tuesday Truth is that as a parent, the best way you can help your child be successful in this new school year is to help them understand what their learning style is. And I'm going to go on to explain that, but that's the Tuesday Truth. So if I say two words, distance learning, for most parents, it does not send shrieks of joy and excitement. Kind of the opposite. It sends shrieks of panic and confusion and irritation. And that's because one style of learning does not fit everyone. That's kind of why distance learning is so hard, is because everybody learns differently. I know my older son, we learned early on when he was like at the start of middle school that he was a rote learner, meaning he learned best by making flashcards and doing them over and over. So repetition. He wasn't somebody who could just read something and then memorize it and go right on and take a test. He had to do flashcards over and over and repetition. And once there was enough repetition, he could, do well on the test. But he wasn't going to just read something and test on it and do well. My middle son, he learned best by writing things out. And so for him, that process of thinking about it and writing it out, he would make extensive study guides that really were just for him. But that process of writing was how he learned. So each child, if you have 4 children, all 4 are going to be different types of learners. And they may be the same kind of category, but they're still different learners. And we have different categories of learning styles, right? We have visual learners, and those are kids that have to kind of see something in order to learn it. They're not just going to learn it by hearing somebody talk. That would be an auditory learner. And an auditory learner learns by listening. And there's not a lot of kids that are just auditory learners. That's not a high population, but there are some kids that can absorb just by learning, just by listening. We also have some social learners, and those are kids that do well in groups and group settings, and that connection to others helps them think and maybe be creative with their learning process like that. We have some kids that are kinesthetic learners. They learn best by touching and actually doing and making things, hands-on kind of learning. We have some kids that actually have solitary learning, and they actually do well by themselves. They do best in learning in situations where there's no distraction, no one around them, and they learn best like that. We have logical learners. We have kids that, their brain kind of works in that mathematical, logical way. So for them, something that isn't, logical like math or maybe like a science is hard for them to grasp because it kind of feels like it's out here and it doesn't make a lot of sense. They're more rational thinkers. And they use reasoning and sequences and things like that for their learning. And there's some kids that are a combination and a little bit of each. Some are, I'm a little more auditory and some social. Each student learns differently. And so as we're going into this start of social learning, as we're going into the start of distance learning, as a parent, if you can help your child know how they learn best, what is their learning style, you can help them be more successful. Because just telling them to sit in front of their computer and watch a teacher talk might not be their learning style. And they may be at the end I don't even know what I listened to. Part of it because I got bored or it didn't challenge my mind, or I was distracted, or I was just listening and I need to see things. So if we can help them know, okay, you take what you just learned, draw it out on a chart. Okay, now they can start understanding if they draw it out. Or maybe they have to take notes during the lectures that they're hearing or whatever they're hearing from their teachers. This can go all the way down to littles to, first, second, third graders. Helping them know how they learn best is the only way that they're going to succeed. because one style of learning is not going to work for everybody. And distance learning is going to teach in a way that their teachers are going to be doing their best to show and do all kinds of different things. But you as a parent, we as a parent, me too, we have to help our students know what style works best. And if it's rote, maybe they need to listen to it 2 or 3 times to kind of hear what's going on, or write flashcards based on what they heard. We just have to help them see the challenge isn't in the learning or the distance learning. The challenge is working it into how it helps you learn best. And so our job is to help them think creatively. Do they need to make charts? Do they need to make graphs? Do they need to, listen to it and go out and walk around? Some kids learn best in little spurts, like an hour and a half of sitting listening to a lecture. They're not going to learn. They need to take it in 15 minutes, maybe get up, do some jumping jacks, whatever. They need to learn, in that way. So your practice as a parent is to start thinking it, and I'm telling this now, and I know it may be like, a couple of weeks out before school starts, but the sooner we can kind of recognize how our student learns best, the sooner we can help get them prepared for that kind of learning style when we go into distance learning. So when the distance learning starts, they don't fall behind immediately because it's not working with their learning style. So I know I kind of threw a lot at you. As a parent, think about how your child learns best. What do they do? Do they need to make charts and graphs? Do they need to listen? Do they need to make flashcards? Do they need to get together with friends so they can kind of talk about what it is and that social learning helps? Do they need no distractions around them and kind of that solitary learning? Whatever style it is, encourage them to use that as we go into distance learning to help themselves not only not be so frustrated, but to be successful and to enjoy the start of the school year, because it's going to be different. And all we can do is work with whatever their strengths are and encourage them to use that to help them learn in the best way they can. So have a great week. Start getting your child prepared for distance learning. It's just know that if you're a parent and those 2 words don't make you happy, that you're with good company. But we'll all get through it together. And the goal is to help our students feel successful. And that's going to be in teaching them how they learn best. All right, have a great week. I'll see you back for another Tuesday Truth. Take care, and we'll talk soon. And as always, love, love, love on your teenagers. They need a lot of it right now. Have a great week. Bye-bye.